Welcome to kindness in real life. The Arizona desert stretches endlessly under a merciless sun, its cracked earth whispering tales of loss and endurance. For Daniel Matthews, a millionaire whose wealth could buy empires but not answers, this barren landscape is a map of grief. 8 years ago, his daughter, Emma, vanished from a Nevada gas station bathroom during a road trip meant to forge memories. Her absence left Daniel with a void no fortune could fill, a journey of devotion and desperation now shared with our audience. At 46, his weathered face etched with sleepless nights, Daniel roams small towns, chasing whispers of his daughter's blue eyes. In Copper Canyon, a fleeting sighting at a truck stop reignites his hope, leading him to a dusty pub where a biker's tattoo, a woman's face with Emma's unmistakable gaze, unravels a chilling truth. Join kindness in real life as we follow Daniel's relentless quest to rescue Emma from a criminal underworld and reclaim the bond time stole. The desert is vast, but a father's love knows no bounds, and Daniel Matthews will cross its sands to bring his daughter home. In the heart of Copper Canyon, Arizona, the desert sun scorched the cracked pavement outside a small police station, its heat a mirror to the fire in Daniel Matthews' chest. At 46, the millionaire's broad shoulders carried the weight of 8 years without his daughter, Emma, who vanished at 17 from a Nevada gas station during a father-daughter road trip to California. His tanned face, once softened by boardroom charm, was now etched with lines of grief, his dark eyes haunted yet resolute. Today, in a faded suit jacket over a white shirt, sleeves rolled up, Daniel sat across from Detective Wilson, sliding a worn manila folder across the desk. Inside were Emma's missing person report and photos, their edges frayed from years of desperate hope. "Thank you for seeing me, Detective," Daniel said, his deep voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. "Emma disappeared 8 years ago. We were driving to visit my sister. She went to the restroom at a gas station outside Las Vegas, and," he paused, the memory ablaze. "She was gone." Detective Wilson, a wiry man in his 50s with sun-bleached skin and thinning gray hair, opened the folder. His hazel eyes scanned the report, polite but distant, as if the case's age had already dulled its urgency. Daniel watched him closely, a skill honed from countless meetings with dismissive officers across 5 states. He'd learned to read the subtle shifts, tightened lips, averted gazes that signaled disbelief. "She was 17, Daniel continued, tapping a photo. Emma's long blonde hair framed her face, her striking blue eyes, his eyes alive with youth. "I filled the tank while she went inside. 15 minutes passed. I checked the restroom. No struggle, no witnesses. Just gone." Wilson flipped through police reports, his expression neutral. "And you heard about a sighting near Copper Canyon?" he asked, referencing a recent tip from a truck stop 30 miles away. "Yes," Daniel said, leaning forward, his tall frame dominating the small chair. A woman, mid-20s, matching Emma's age-progressed description, was seen 3 weeks ago. She seemed disoriented. Then a man rushed her into a vehicle. Wilson nodded, but his shoulders relaxed, a telltale sign of waning interest. "That's outside our jurisdiction, Mr. Matthews. Nevada's case." Daniel's jaw tightened. He'd heard this before. Too old, too far, too vague. "Detective," Daniel said, his tone sharpening, "this isn't just about Emma." From his leather satchel, he pulled a thicker folder, its pages bulging with 8 years of obsession. "I've tracked similar disappearances across the Southwest. 17 cases, young women vanishing from gas stations and rest stops along interstates." He spread out newspaper clippings, online printouts, and a hand-drawn map dotted with red pins. 4 cases connect to this region. There's a pattern. Wilson's eyebrows lifted, a flicker of curiosity crossing his lean face as he studied the map. But the spark faded. "Mr. Matthews," he said gently, closing the folders, "your dedication is commendable, but after 8 years, the odds of new evidence are slim. These locations, gas stations, rest stops, are common crime spots. The connections might be coincidental." Daniel's stomach sank, the familiar stone of disappointment settling in. He'd faced this dismissal in Nevada, Texas, New Mexico, each officer sympathetic but unconvinced. "I understand," Daniel said, his voice low, masking the frustration clawing inside. "But if there's a chance Emma's out there, where other girls could be saved." Wilson handed him a business card, scribbling a number on the back. "My direct line. Call if you find something concrete. I'll keep an eye out." Daniel took the card, adding it to the dozens in his wallet, each a relic of dead ends. "Thank you," he said, gathering his folders, Emma's photo tucked carefully inside. Her blue eyes, bright with possibility, were as familiar as his own reflection. Wilson escorted him to the door, his handshake firm, but his hazel eyes tinged with pity. The look of someone who believed Daniel chased ghosts. Maybe he did, but until he knew Emma's fate, he'd keep searching one dusty town at a time. Outside, the Arizona heat hit like a furnace, the sun blinding as Daniel yanked open his rental car's door, the handle searing his palm. He slid into the driver's seat, the vinyl scorching through his trousers. For a moment, he stared at the station, another dead end. Frustration boiled over, and he slammed the steering wheel, pain jolting through his hand. "Damn it," he muttered, voice cracking. 8 years of chasing leads, building his own investigation when police failed, had drained his spirit, but not his resolve. His tech fortune, built after selling his startup, had funded private investigators, travel, and advocacy, yet yielded nothing. He'd sold their Seattle home, unable to bear its silence without Emma's laughter. Taking a deep breath, Daniel started the car, the air conditioning wheezing to life. Copper Canyon's faded storefronts and pickup trucks blurred as he drove, his GPS guiding him to the Desert Moon Motel. The motel's neon sign flickered, half-lit against the sky. Daniel checked in, the clerk barely glancing up from his phone, sliding a key across the counter. Room 114, at the building's far end, was predictably worn, a faded comforter, a rickety table, a TV with dials. Daniel set his folders down, splashing water on his face in the buzzing bathroom. His reflection showed gray streaks in his dark hair, lines deepening around his eyes. Hunger gnawed. He hadn't eaten since a morning coffee. His phone showed 5:30 p.m. A nearby pub, the Roadrunner, promised decent food 10 minutes away. Daniel grabbed his satchel, slipping Emma's age-progressed photo inside, a ritual to keep her close. The forensic artist's image, crafted 3 years ago, showed Emma at 25, her features matured but her blue eyes unmistakable. Locking the motel door, he pushed aside the day's setback. Tomorrow, he'd visit the truck stop, show Emma's photo, and hunt for witnesses. The sun dipped as he drove, casting long shadows across the desert. The Roadrunner's weathered exterior contrasted with the gleaming motorcycles parked outside, their chrome catching the evening light. Daniel hesitated, assessing the rough crowd, bikers, locals, truckers. He braved worse in his search. Inside, classic rock pulsed, the air thick with beer and smoke. Patrons filled tables, a jukebox humming. Daniel took a bar stool, scanning faces. "Burger and soda," he told Mike, the bartender, a tattooed man in his 50s with salt and pepper hair. Passing through, Mike asked, setting down a soda. "Just visiting," Daniel said, keeping it vague. Exhaustion made him wary of sharing Emma's story, tired of pitying looks. He sipped his drink, watching the crowd. The door slammed open, and 5 bikers strode in, their leather vests marked Iron Wolves MC. The room quieted, patrons glancing away. Mike delivered their beers without a word, signaling their status as regulars. Daniel ate his burger, keeping to himself, but a movement at the biker's table caught his eye. One, with long hair and a beard, reached for his drink, revealing a tattoo. A woman's face with striking blue eyes. Daniel froze. Those eyes, Emma's eyes, stared from the man's arm, their rare shade unmistakable. His pulse raced. It could be a coincidence, but his gut screamed otherwise. He forced his gaze down, steadying his trembling hand. "Locals?" he asked Mike casually, nodding toward the bikers. Mike glanced over, voice low. "Iron Wolves." Control territory across states. Been around more lately. Keep your distance. Daniel nodded. That long-haired one. Nice tattoo. Mike wiped the bar. That's Viper, a lieutenant. Inks of Crystal, his girlfriend. Works at the Dollhouse, a club outside town. Daniel's mind churned. Club. Mike's look darkened. Strip joint, really a brothel. Cops leave it alone. Daniel paid, heart pounding. The Dollhouse. Crystal. Those eyes. He glanced at Viper, laughing with his crew, the tattoo shifting. Emma's gaze seemed to follow him. 8 years of leads had often fizzled, but this felt different. If his love for Emma moves you, hit that like button to support our mission of compassion and hope. The Arizona night wrapped Copper Canyon in a heavy stillness. The desert's heat lingering as Daniel Matthews sat in his rental car, heart pounding. The neon glow of the Dollhouse, a so-called gentleman's club on the town's outskirts, cast an eerie pink hue across the parking lot. At 46, Daniel's tall, lean frame was tense, his tan skin slick with sweat under a dark jacket and jeans. His dark eyes, haunted by 8 years without his daughter, Emma, fixed on the side entrance where Viper, the biker with Emma's blue eyes tattooed on his arm, had disappeared. Kindness in real life had shared Daniel's quest to millions, but now, alone in the dark, it was a father's instinct driving him closer to the truth. The Roadrunner pub's revelation had ignited a spark Daniel hadn't felt in years. Viper's tattoo, a woman's face with Emma's unmistakable eyes, had led him here to a place Mike, the bartender, called a brothel in disguise. Daniel's wealth, amassed from his tech empire, had funded countless searches, but tonight, it was his resolve that mattered. He'd followed Viper's Iron Wolves MC from the pub, keeping his distance as their motorcycles roared through the desert. Now, parked in the lot's far corner, he watched the Dollhouse's comings and goings, his compact binoculars revealing a grim pattern. Men entered through the main doors, greeted by a bouncer, while women moved between the club and a low building behind it, some alone, others with clients. The side entrance, marked staff only, saw bikers and select figures slip in and out. Daniel's gut churned. This wasn't just a club. The tattoo, Crystal's supposed identity, and Mike's warning pointed to something darker. He pulled Emma's age-progressed photo from his satchel, her blue eyes staring back. "You're here," he whispered, certainty growing. "I feel it." He dialed Detective Wilson, the line ringing as he scanned the lot. Wilson's groggy voice answered. "Mr. Matthews? It's late." Daniel's voice was urgent. "I'm at the Dollhouse, outside Copper Canyon. The Iron Wolves are here. I saw a biker, Viper, with a tattoo of a woman's face, Emma's eyes. This place is a front, detective. Women are being moved, controlled." Wilson's tone sharpened. "You followed them? I told you to wait." "I couldn't," Daniel cut in. "A woman here, Crystal, might be Emma. I need you to check this place out." Wilson sighed. "The Iron Wolves are on our radar. Suspected trafficking, but we need evidence for a warrant. Stay put. Don't go inside. I'll make calls." Daniel ended the call, frustration simmering. Waiting wasn't an option, not when Emma might be steps away. He changed into darker clothes from his bag, black shirt, jeans, boots, blending into the night. The Dollhouse pulsed with music, its neon sign a garish beacon. Daniel circled the lot, noting the main entrance's single bouncer and the side door's sporadic use. The smaller building, likely where women were taken, was his target, but security cameras dotted the perimeter. Years of tracking leads had taught him caution. Rushing in could endanger Emma. Instead, he'd observe, gather proof. For an hour, he watched from his car, noting patterns. Women exited the club, some escorting men to the back building, others returning alone. The side entrance saw Viper and his crew head toward a distant compound, its lights faint behind a fence. Daniel drove to a ridge overlooking the compound, parking behind a rock formation. Through binoculars, he saw guarded buildings, women moved between them, and bikers patrolling. His breath caught as one woman emerged, her walk, a hesitant, uneven gait, eerily familiar. Emma's childhood balance issue had given her that distinctive step. "It's you," he whispered, snapping photos with his phone. the images grainy but telling. Trembling, he compared them to Emma's age-progressed photo. The similarities, facial structure, posture, were undeniable despite her thinner frame. Daniel's heart raced. After 8 years, he'd found her. But the compound's security, fences, guards, made a direct approach suicide. He sent the photos to Wilson with a text. "This is Emma. Dollhouse compound. Act now." Wilson's reply was swift. "Photos aren't enough for a warrant. Setting up surveillance. Stay away." Daniel's fists clenched. Surveillance could take days, weeks. Emma was here now. He drove back to the dollhouse, parking again. The lot buzzed with late-night patrons, the bouncer distracted. Daniel slipped out, moving toward the side entrance. A staff member exited, leaving the door ajar. Seizing the chance, he darted inside. The hallway dim, music muffled. Security cameras blinked, but he kept his head low, heart hammering. The corridor led to a staff area, lockers, a break room. Voices echoed from deeper within. Daniel hid behind a vending machine as a woman passed, her face weary. He needed to find the back building or wherever women were kept. A staff-only door beckoned, but a guard stood nearby. Daniel waited, sweat beading, until the guard stepped away to answer a radio. He slipped through, entering a darker hallway lined with doors. Muffled voices and music leaked from behind them. One door, marked private, stood ajar. Daniel peered inside. A small room with a couch, dim lights, and a woman in a revealing outfit counting cash. She looked up, startled. "You're not supposed to be here," she said, voice low. Daniel raised his hands. "I'm looking for someone." Crystal, blue eyes, mid-20s. The woman's eyes narrowed, suspicious. "Why?" "She's my daughter," Daniel said, voice breaking. "Missing 8 years. I think she's here." The woman's face softened, but fear flickered. "You're crazy coming in here. The wolves run this place. If they catch you," she hesitated, then whispered, "Crystal's in the back building. They move girls there for clients. But it's guarded. Get out before Viper sees you." Daniel's heart leaped. "Where's the back building?" She pointed to a door at the hall's end. "Through there, but you won't get far. They've got cameras, guys with guns." Daniel nodded. "Thank you." She shook her head. "Don't thank me. Just don't get us all killed." He slipped out, moving toward the door. Outside, a gravel path led to the low building, its windows dark. 2 bikers stood guard, smoking. Daniel crouched behind a dumpster, mind racing. He couldn't fight his way in, but Wilson needed evidence. He snapped more photos, guards, the building, a woman being escorted inside. The woman's walk wasn't Emma's, but the setup screamed trafficking. He texted Wilson again, "Back building, guarded. Women held there. Crystal is Emma. Move now." Wilson's reply, "Team assembling. Stay clear. Dangerous." Danger didn't matter. Daniel crept closer, staying low. A side window offered a glimpse inside. Women sitting, some dazed, others talking quietly. None were Emma, but the scene confirmed the woman's warning. He needed to find the compound's link where Emma was likely held. As he moved to retreat, headlights swept the lot. Viper and 2 bikers pulled up on motorcycles, dismounting near the guards. Daniel froze, pulse roaring. Viper's long hair glinted under the neon, his tattooed arm visible as he barked orders. If Viper entered the building, Daniel's chance to gather more proof could vanish. He circled back to the main club, re-entering through the side door. The hallway was empty, but voices grew louder from the main room. He needed a plan, blend in, observe, or find a way to the compound. Slipping into the club's main area, he took a corner table, ordering a soda to avoid suspicion. The room throbbed with music, dancers on stages, men leering. Daniel scanned for Viper or any sign of Emma. A dancer approached, offering a private dance. Daniel declined politely, showing Emma's photo. "Seen her? Goes by Crystal." The dancer glanced at it, then away. "Don't know her. Don't ask questions here." Her fear was palpable. Daniel nodded, slipping her a 20. "Thanks anyway." She left, and Daniel's eyes drifted to a staff-only door near the bar. Women exited periodically, some returning, others not. That door might lead to Emma. As he planned his next move, Viper entered the main room, his presence silencing nearby conversations. His gaze swept the crowd, lingering on Daniel's corner. Daniel lowered his eyes, heart pounding. Had Viper seen him at the Roadrunner? The biker moved to the bar, speaking to a bouncer. Daniel's time was running out. Subscribe to join our community and follow his fight to save Emma from the shadows. The dollhouse's neon glow pulsed against the Arizona night, its garish light a stark contrast to the terror unfolding within. Daniel Matthews crouched in the dim hallway, his tall frame pressed against a wall as the thud of music vibrated through the floor. At 46, the millionaire's tanned face was slick with sweat, his dark jacket torn from a near miss with a bouncer. His dark eyes, burning with 8 years of longing for his daughter, Emma, scanned for the staff-only door that might lead to her. Viper, the Iron Wolves MC lieutenant with Emma's blue eyes tattooed on his arm, was somewhere in the club, a ticking clock on Daniel's desperate mission. Kindness in real life had broadcast Daniel's search to millions, but now, inches from salvation or disaster, it was a father's courage that held him steady. The dollhouse was a labyrinth of vice, its corridors hiding a trafficking operation Daniel had uncovered hours ago. Emma, now 25, was here, called Crystal, her identity confirmed by a worker's whisper and the haunting familiarity of her walk seen through binoculars. Daniel's tech fortune had funded his search, but tonight, his stealth and resolve were his only tools. He'd texted Detective Wilson photos of the compound and guards, but the police needed time Emma might not have. Viper's presence in the main room meant the operation could shift, moving Emma to another city. Daniel edged toward the staff door, heart pounding. A security camera blinked overhead, but he kept to the shadows. The door was unguarded, a rare lapse. He slipped through, entering a narrow passage lined with locked rooms. Muffled voices and cries seeped through, twisting his gut. One door, slightly ajar, revealed a small office. Daniel ducked inside, finding a desk, filing cabinets, and a security monitor showing feeds from the club and compound. His eyes locked on a screen, a room where women sat, some dazed, others terrified. Emma wasn't there, but the setup screamed captivity. He rifled through papers, ledgers listing product, transfers to Tucson, Phoenix, Denver. Proof of a trafficking network. Daniel snapped photos with his phone, sending them to Wilson. Trafficking evidence. Women held him back building. Emma's here. Hurry. Wilson's reply was immediate. Team en route. Stay hidden. ETA 20 minutes. 20 minutes was an eternity. Daniel slipped back into the hall, moving toward a rear exit the worker had mentioned, leading to the back building. Outside, the gravel path was dark, the compound's lights faint in the distance. 2 guards smoked near the building's entrance, their rifles slung casually. Daniel crouched behind a crate, his breath shallow. A woman emerged, escorted by a biker, not Emma. He needed to get inside. As he planned, a commotion erupted in the main club, shouts breaking glass. The guards tensed, one radioing, "Trouble at the bar." They hesitated, then jogged toward the club, leaving the door unguarded. Daniel sprinted across the gravel, slipping inside. The building smelled of stale air and despair, its dim interior lined with locked doors. He tried one, bolted. A faint sob came from another. "Emma," he whispered, pressing his ear to the door. No response. He moved on, heart racing, until a voice stopped him cold. "Who's there?" It was faint, trembling, but unmistakable, Emma's. Daniel's knees buckled. "Emma, it's Dad," he whispered, fumbling with the lock. It was bolted, unyielding. "Dad," her voice broke, hope and fear mingling. "Ow, I never stopped looking," Daniel said, voice thick. "I'm getting you out." Footsteps echoed. Someone was coming. Daniel hid behind a stack of boxes as Viper appeared, his long hair glinting under a bare bulb. He unlocked Emma's door, barking, "Crystal, move. Tucson tonight." Daniel's blood ran cold. Viper dragged Emma out, her thin frame draped in a tattered dress, her blue eyes wide with fear but sparking with recognition as they flicked toward Daniel's hiding spot. Viper's radio crackled. "Cops inbound." Get the girls out. He cursed, yanking Emma toward the exit. Daniel acted on instinct, lunging from cover. Let her go, he roared, tackling Viper. The biker was stronger, but Daniel's desperation fueled him. They grappled, Daniel's fist connecting with Viper's jaw. Emma stumbled free, grabbing a metal pipe from the floor. As Viper raised a knife, she swung, striking his shoulder. He howled, dropping the blade. Sirens wailed, growing louder. Viper staggered, clutching his arm, and bolted toward the compound. Daniel pulled Emma into his arms, her sobs shaking them both. I've got you, he whispered, shielding her as police stormed the building. Detective Wilson, his lean face set with urgency, led the charge. Matthews, you okay? Officers secured the area, cuffing bikers and freeing women from locked rooms. We're fine, Daniel said, never letting go of Emma. Wilson's hazel eyes softened. You were right. We've got 17 women, evidence for trafficking. Daniel nodded, his focus on Emma. Her blonde hair was matted, her face gaunt, but those blue eyes, his eyes, held a flicker of the girl he'd lost. Paramedics arrived, wrapping a blanket around her. In the ambulance, Daniel sat beside her, holding her hand. Mom, she asked, voice small. Daniel's throat tightened. She passed 2 years ago, sweetheart. Cancer, but she never stopped believing you'd come home. Emma's tears fell. They took me from the gas station, she whispered. Drugged me, sold me. Viper bought me 3 years ago, said my eyes were special. Tattooed them on his arm. Daniel's rage surged, but he kept his voice gentle. You're safe now. He'll pay. Emma leaned into him, exhaustion overtaking her. You found me, she murmured. I thought you'd given up. Never, Daniel said, kissing her forehead. At the police station, Wilson briefed them. Viper's in custody. The ledgers and your photos gave us enough for raids in Tucson, Phoenix, others. Emma's testimony will seal it. Daniel squeezed her hand. Only when you're ready. Emma nodded, resolute. I know names, places. There are more girls. I'll help. In a quiet office, they sat together, Emma wrapped in a fresh blanket, sipping tea. She recounted fragments. Years of captivity, moves between cities, Viper's obsession. Daniel listened, heartbreaking but proud of her strength. I kept hoping, she said, but after a while, I thought you'd moved on. Daniel shook his head. Every day, I showed your photo, followed leads. Sold the house, left the company. You were my world. Dawn broke as they left the station. Police escorting them to a hotel under protection. The desert glowed gold, a new day dawning. Daniel draped his jacket over Emma's shoulders, the simple act grounding him. She was thinner, her eyes shadowed, but alive. In the cruiser, their hands stayed linked, a silent vow. The road ahead, therapy, trials, rebuilding, loomed, but together they'd face it. Wilson approached, notebook in hand. Emma, your info on other locations is gold. FBI's moving fast. You're helping save lives. Emma's grip tightened. Good. They deserve to go home too. Daniel's pride swelled. His daughter, after unimaginable horror, was already fighting for others. As they drove away, the dollhouse's neon faded in the rear view, a nightmare left behind. In the hotel, Daniel watched Emma sleep, her face peaceful for the first time. He opened his satchel, pulling out her photo. The girl in it was gone, but the woman she'd become was here, resilient and fierce. He tucked it away, no longer needing to carry her image. She was beside him. The desert had tested him, but love had won. Daniel and Emma's story reminds us that hope, fueled by love, can overcome even the darkest trials. Their reunion is a testament to resilience and the unbreakable bond of family. What did their journey teach you about perseverance? Share your thoughts in the comments and join our community of compassion, where every story inspires us to keep fighting for those we love.